All right, so we have journeyed through 6 of the 7 pillars of the inverted cosmos. Today, we've reached the end of the line. We're facing the final, and, honestly, maybe the most unsettling pillar of them all, celestial gluttony, as told through the parable of the Infinite Maw.
You know what? We're actually going to start at the very end. This single line is how the parable we're about to dive into concludes. And let me tell you, this isn't a peaceful silence. It's the sound of absolute, total nothingness. So how in the world do we get to this final deafening void? Let's unpack it.
So here it is, celestial gluttony. But I want you to get any simple idea of just overeating out of your head. This is a cosmic principle. It's the final rule that makes the entire cycle of the 7 pillars complete. It's not just an ending. It is the ultimate end to existence itself.
At the heart of this pillar is its core text, its liturgy, the parable of the Infinite Maw. And this is way more than just a spooky story. This is the foundational scripture for its red judge, one of those 7 cosmic forces in the system. And it teaches a really harsh lesson about reality and our tiny place in it.
The story kicks off with an ambition that feels, well, very human, right? The desire to be remembered, to be permanent. You've got this king, and he is so desperate for his legacy to last forever that he builds what he thinks is an indestructible fortress. He genuinely believes he can beat time, that he can create something that will outlast the entire universe.
Now listen to this, because the method here is what's so terrifying. This great mouth, the maw, it doesn't even bother attacking the diamond walls. Why would it? It's working on a much more fundamental level. It just consumes the reality the fortress is built on. See, it's not about destruction, it's about complete and total erasure. And here you have it, the peak of human delusion. As everything he ever built is literally being unmade, the king just screams in defiance. He's yelling about his own permanence at a force of absolute impermanence. It's his last, desperate, and completely futile cry against the inevitable. What a powerful image. It's not just the physical stuff, the king, his castle, that gets consumed. It's his declaration, his very idea of himself, his legacy, his final breath, all of it just swallowed. Even sound, a final act of defiance, has nowhere to go. It can't escape.
And this is what's left. Not ruins, not a memory, just a complete and total void. The silence here isn't just an absence of sound, it's the absence of everything.
Okay, so that was bleak. What on earth is this nihilistic story actually trying to tell us? To really get its command, we have to pull the fable apart and see how it builds up into a pretty terrifying philosophy. That fortress is really the key symbol here. It represents every monument, every book, every grand idea we create, because we're hoping it'll last forever. But according to this whole doctrine, that desire, that's the ultimate delusion. It's a concept that comes from the fool's heaven, which is the theological name for a place where souls just cling to these false hopes instead of facing reality.
Now this is super important. We have to distinguish this from that other pillar we talked about, sacred avarice. Avarice is all about accumulation. It's a hunger to own everything, to gather more and more. But celestial gluttony is its terrifying twin. It's about negation. It doesn't want to own the world. It wants to unmake the world by eating it.
So let's get this straight. What is the maw? It's not a monster. It's not a beast with teeth. The source material is very clear. You should think of it more like a fundamental law of the cosmos, a function that just deletes reality. It's a true void, a literal tear in the fabric of existence. Its only purpose is to prove one thing, that nothing, absolutely nothing, lasts forever.
Okay, so we've got the story and we've got its meaning, but this philosophy isn't just something to think about. It comes with a direct order, a command, and it's delivered in a section called the mockery. This is the exact moment where the abstract idea becomes a personal mandate for you.
This all leads to a really critical question, doesn't it? If everything is just temporary and ultimately meaningless, then what's the point? What is the actual lesson we're supposed to walk away with from this parable about total annihilation? And the answer it gives is just delivered with this chilling clarity. You are not the meal waiting to be eaten. You are the teeth. Your role is to be an active, hungry participant in this cosmic process of consumption.
So let's break this mandate down because it's a radical flip of everything we're normally taught. First point, it completely inverts the virtue of preservation. Forget building a legacy. The command is to devour everything, the good, the bad, all the shades of gray in between. Don't savor it, don't preserve it, consume it. But that last point, That one is the real mind-bender. The only way to prove you truly existed is to consume your experiences so completely that you leave absolutely nothing behind. And this all loops back to that core concept we've touched on before, agonizing joy, right? That's the idea that you only feel truly alive during these intense, high-friction experiences. And for this pillar, that friction comes from the act of consumption itself. It's the struggle, the sheer intensity of devouring the world before it devours you, that validates your existence. It's a brutal way to find meaning, but it's powerful.
So let's tie all of this together. The parable, the philosophy, the command, it all points toward one singular, pretty terrifying idea about how you're supposed to prove your own existence in a cosmos that doesn't care about you.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. The Diamond Fortress, that's our doomed attempt at permanence, a fragile artificial illusion. The Great Mouth isn't a monster. It's the principle of celestial gluttony itself, a tear in reality. That swallowed scream represents the true void, the absolute silence that eats everything. And that final command, devour it, well, that's the call to find your meaning through agonizing joy, through a life of intense, high-friction consumption.
And that brings us to the final provocative thought this pillar leaves us with. The philosophy of celestial gluttony basically argues that legacy is a lie. It proposes that the only authentic mark you can leave on the universe is the empty space you leave behind, a space made empty by your own consumption. So, the question is a stark one. If nothing truly lasts, is annihilation the only real proof you were ever here at all?